Hi everyone, we're at the Pasadena City College. My name is Kira Matsasete. I'm the team lead of this OFAR team, and I teach human anatomy.
I'm Kelly Voss. I teach marine biology.
I am Luz Maria Martinez Sierra, and I teach Introduction to Conceptual Physics in the lab.
My name is Juliana Rico, and I teach digital photography.
I'm Harrison Hayes, and I teach CAS 72 intercollegiate basketball.
And my name is Alexandra Garcia, and I teach Introduction to Environmental Sciences.
Our team's overall approach has been on transforming our classrooms into more inclusive, empowering, and accessible spaces. First of all, we've decolonized our syllabi by using student-centered and supportive language, for example, including anti-racist statements and phrases such as mistakes are expected and respected. Overall, across disciplines, we revised curriculum to integrate diverse voices and highlight issues like racial health disparities, the racist history of photography, and systemic inequities in education and society. We've also created spaces for students to reflect on their lived experiences and connect their identities to the material, which we found boosts both confidence and engagement. And finally, we've prioritized accessibility. We've made materials available online or through platforms like Google Drive, so all students can participate without the need to print or buy extra resources. Now, each member of our team will present how they involve students in their own classrooms. In my human anatomy classroom, students worked on inclusive anatomy projects where they developed open, inclusive resources for our LibreTech textbooks. Some students created or adapted images showing anatomy after gender-affirming surgery or representing non-white or larger or older bodies. Others made spotlights on topics like dermatological conditions across skin tones, indigenous practices or adaptations, and historical health injustices. Still others revised textbook language to reduce bias, using person-first or identity-first terms, avoiding stigmatizing language, and replaces eponyms.
Photography has the ability to empower some and oppress others, and I wanted to explore this more in my portrait unit this semester. Students began by reflecting on their own identity and privilege wheels to better understand themselves and where others are coming from. I created a new page on Canvas that went over the racist history of photography, as well as resources and information on lighting, editing, and photographing people of a variety of skin tones. This is just the beginning of better being able to accurately reflect all people's stories.
The way I incorporate anti-racism into my courses is by decentering myself and focusing on student choice. So they can include organisms, locations, researchers that are meaningful to them in our open educational resources that we're creating together. They get to choose what kinds of homework assignments they do to best suit their own interests. And they have plenty of opportunities all semester to share their passions and expertise with the rest of the class.
For the Introduction to Conceptual Physics lab, we initially have this very old document that was hard to follow and difficult to read. The new project includes 14 new Google Docs that the student can use and access with the college account that have all the resources they need and the references they're going to be using in the lab. There's also pictures of previews of students that have been using the equipment, so it's clear to them and they can see themselves represented in the lab.
This semester, I worked with our men's basketball team at PCC to help bring awareness to them of what anti-racist practices and pedagogy was, and how they relate to student athletes, not just in sports, but on campus and in the classroom as well. I utilized monthly team discussions on anti-racist topics such as racial identity, athlete activism, and Black leadership. These discussions created a safe space for students to reflect and share their experiences of what they've gone through and think critically on what the change they want to see from the institution, helping them become self and cultural advocates for their higher education journey and moving forward after that.
This semester, I brought a more anti-racist focus into my water quality and bioaccumulation lecture. Students read a paper on toxic beauty and looked at the Johnson & Johnson case study to see how harmful chemicals in personal care products disproportionately affect Latinx and Black communities. They reflected on the products they used, researched their harmful ingredients, and found safer alternatives using credible databases. Then they worked together to build a Canvas wiki, which you see right here, as a shared resource of safer products. helping them connect environmental health to systemic racism in a real and practical way. At PCC, our OFAR team of 6 instructors is advancing anti-racist and open education practices across disciplines. Juliana from digital photography is advocating for mandatory anti-racist professional development and building a zero textbook cost pathway. Harrison for basketball is expanding the academic presence of student athletes and amplifying student voices for equity in athletics. Luz Maria in physics created open access lab guides with decolonized references and student-generated images, free for students and adaptable for instructors. Kiara from Human Anatomy partnered with the library to host its first workshop on student-created open resources, leading to inclusive scientific images like anatomy after gender-affirming care and BIPOC spotlights. In my environmental science class, I partnered with Black Women for Wellness to connect students' science writing to their newsletter, the first collaboration between this nonprofit and PCC. Lastly, Kelly from Marine Biology is offering zero-cost field trips to expand student access to nature. Together, we're building sustainable, anti-racist, and open practices at PCC.
And looking forward to next steps for our team's anti-racist work, Juliana and I are going to discuss what our team has identified as a couple of good starting points.
We think that it's really important to pull in our faculty through workshops and training. And we have a few ideas for this, including a workshop about decolonizing the syllabus and having that being more student-centered, as well as how do we take anti-racist theory and apply it into practice in the classroom and what that looks like for different disciplines. We would like all of these resources to be held in one space, so that way people can utilize them and refer back to them, but also have community conversation circles to unpack what we're learning and really be able to invest more deeply within it.
And in the spirit of bringing anti-racism into the classroom, some best practices include increasing access to OER and ZTC course offerings. So beyond projects like mine, we hope to build more programming in conjunction with the library to empower students to access and even create their own open educational resources.
So our future impacts that we hope to make at PCC, we hope to aspire the PCC students to achieve more by facilitating anti-racist pedagogy, empowering them to bring their whole selves to their classroom and be advocates for themselves as well.
We want to acknowledge the OFAR team and all the speakers, the Pasadena City College and our departments that have supported us. We are very grateful for our mentor, Ana Garcia, and we want to make a recognition of the difficult times that our community in Pasadena have been through in the past few months. Thank you.